SNAP benefits, otherwise known as food stamps, and $3.5 billion more with this new bill. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. I know in this video, I do want to share with you the details of a new bill that was introduced that would give SNAP beneficiaries $3.5 billion more in benefits, which actually is a pretty substantial amount of money. Let's get into it and talk through all the details. First off, if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and I'm here for you right by your side every single day to help you out in any way that I possibly can, as well as keeping you informed of all of these changes as things are happening very, very fast. Also, as long as you're right down below the video, make sure to like the video and, of course, share this video with your friends, family, and social media so we can continue to help out as many people as we can right now during this very uncertain time and as we continue to get all of these changes that continue to take place. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get into it and talk about the details of this new bill that was introduced giving $3.5 billion more worth of SNAP benefits and what this means for you if you are a SNAP or food stamp beneficiary. Now, to put this into context, as of right now, there's about 43 million people all across the country that do get SNAP benefits every single month. So there's a lot of people that rely on these monthly benefits and this new bill that was just introduced. So let me talk you through the details of it. So first things first, let me tell you the name of this bill. If you'd like to look it up and do some research on your own, by all means, you're welcome to do so. That's why I always like to share with you the names of these bills so you can research them on your own if you would like. So it is called Opt for Health with SNAP Act. To be honest with you, that's a little bit hard to say. I'll say it again. Opt for Health with SNAP Act, okay? That's the name of this bill, okay? So that was what was introduced here. Now, there's also another little aspect of SNAP benefits, otherwise it's known as food stamps. Now, I'm going to be real with you, okay? I've always said this before. If there's something that I come across that I'm not very familiar with, I do a ton of research on it, and I try to familiarize myself with it as well as educate myself as much as possible. To be real with you, I was not very familiar with this at all prior to coming forward with this bill, and again, I did a bunch of research on this to understand this a little bit further. But there's another little provision about SNAP benefits or food stamps called GUSNIP. Nutrition Incentive Program. Again, I'm probably saying that completely wrong, but there is an acronym for it as well. Let me say it again. Schumacher, something like that, Nutrition Incentive Program, okay? Basically what this does, it gets about $260 million a year of funding as of right now. Well, they want to bump that up to $3.5 billion, okay? That's a huge increase from about $250 million a year up to about $3.5 billion a year, okay? That's a massive increase, okay? But basically what this is, it's a small provision here within the SNAP program where basically it allocates certain dollars to SNAP beneficiaries each and every month so you can use that money to buy healthy food options like produce, fruits, and vegetables. Because here's the problem. And again, I've seen this down below in the comment section over the last couple of years here that we've been talking about this kind of stuff and that we've seen all these changes coming in on SNAP benefits. You know, I've been seeing this down below in the comment section, and I've had private conversations with some of you right here in the community through email where we've gone back and forth talking about SNAP benefits and the program, and I see this time and time again. You get $182 a month. You get $23 a month. You get $281 a month, whatever it happens to be. You get a certain allocation of money each and every month. Well, let me ask you, is it more expensive to buy healthy foods or is it cheaper to buy healthy foods? We all know healthy foods are expensive. Generally, less healthy foods are less expensive. You can buy more volume of food of the unhealthy-ish foods like they talked about for, you can get a lot more of that for your money. So, unfortunately, and again, like I've said before, I've seen this down below in the comment section. I've had conversations with many of you here in the community where some of you have reached out and said, I get, X dollars a month, and as a result of that, I'm forced to buy more of this other food because I can get a lot more of it for the same amount of money versus a much smaller quantity for the healthy foods. Again, this is no surprise to anybody. We know this stuff, right? This is very obvious stuff, and they understand this as well, which is why they're trying to bump this funding up from about $260 million a year up to $3.5 billion a year. And essentially what this does, it just gives people that are on SNAP benefits, receiving food stamp benefits, more money to buy the healthy options, fruits and vegetables and things like this. Now again, I know it's not all that exciting, right? Do we want to walk around and eat apples and, pears and all that stuff every day? Probably not, but every so often, would it be kind of nice to have that kind of food? It's not bad, right? Especially this time of year. It's always kind of nice to have that fresh food like that. So again, this is what they want to do with this. Now, to be fair, this has not passed through Congress yet. Just like so many other bills, packages, and proposals that are out there that we talk about, a lot of these are not passed through Congress. But again, this is something they're talking about. And again, we need to continue watching this very closely because you just never know, right? And again, to ask them to bump it up from about a quarter billion a year to about 3.5 billion, that is nothing. When it comes down to the federal government and federal spending, $3.5 billion, even 10 billion, 20 billion, $50 billion, that is nothing when it comes to the federal government. That is literally a drop in the bucket, considering they spend trillions of dollars every single year on all kinds of stuff. And I think we can all probably agree, a lot of which we may or may not agree with, right? So they certainly have $3.5 billion a year to help out about 43 million people on an ongoing basis to help them get better and healthier food options through the SNAP program, especially now as of recently, as of March, so, a handful of months ago, when the extra allotment for SNAP benefits ended spontaneously. Remember that? I was talking about that for years, and I was saying, everybody get ready. It's going to be ending at some point. I'm not sure when. We knew that for a long time. I continued to warn people here on the channel for many years as we knew that that was coming to an end with the public health emergency declaration ending and all kinds of stuff like that. I continued to say the extra allotment for SNAP benefits will be ending at some point. At the time, we didn't know when. Well, sure enough, it came forward in March of this year, 2023. It ended, okay? That was massive. In fact, I saw some reports out there that suggested the average household, the average SNAP beneficiary had a reduction to their benefit by about $100 a month. That's massive, right? That's a lot. I mean, imagine $100 a month for a single person. That could be, I don't know, a week, 10 days worth of groceries for somebody, for a couple, something like that, or a household of two. I mean, that's like 5, 6, maybe days worth of groceries for, a couple people. $100. Again, depends on what you're buying, depends on where you're located around the country, all kinds of different things like that. But you get my point here. That's like days worth of food right there that the average household lost just because of the extra allotment ending back in March, right? So this would just be another little thing coming up here. And again, this would help out a lot of beneficiaries in a pretty major way here. Again, 3.5 billion. It's nothing, right? It's not that big of a deal. They could easily do this. So interesting stuff here, which by the way, I talked about this in another video, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I'm not even sure when the video went out, but I talked about this in another video where some reports were coming out showing how much SNAP benefits have reduced since the extra allotment actually ended. It's gone down by like $1 billion a month. It's like a lot, right? It's gone down a ton, okay? It was like, what, $10.9 billion a month is how much was being spent on SNAP, and it went down about $1 billion a month. That's a lot, right? Across 43 million people, I mean, we're talking like a lot of money that's being, reduced. So anyway, I'll keep an eye on this bill, just like all the other, thousands of bills that are out there. I'm constantly watching Congress, whatever they're doing out there, whatever they're introducing, as well as what they're working on passing, as well as, we got to remember too, in just a handful of months here, they're going to be working on / they need to be passing the next fiscal budget, the next federal budget for the fiscal year of 2024, which begins in October. Now, I get it. Right now, it feels like, oh, October's so far away. It's not that far away. Look at the calendar. It's seriously not that far away, right? It's just a handful of months away. It's going to be here very fast, okay? And between now and then, they need to get forward and they need to pass the next federal budget for fiscal year 2024. And that one is usually about, $1.2 to $1.5 trillion bill. And it has a lot of different things within it, okay? So why we got to continue watching this, because generally they like to add a lot of bills packages and these things into these big bills like this, right? When they got a $1 trillion or $1.2 to $1.5 trillion bill, a lot of times they like to add a lot of these other little ones into it and just pile it all together. So won't be shocked to see that at all. Either way, I'll keep you posted with any other details that I get on this. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share this video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy your day, take care, have a good one, and catch you again later in the next